Okay, first we're going to start with the listening tools on as far as our little social media approach. It's our first little tool section. Oh, first of all, listening is pretty important to know the pulse of what's going on your incident, as well as any other event, if you will. We're going to kind of go down the order of the guidelines here that Chris developed for us. The first tool is the Google blog search feature that Google has. Very important. If you haven't signed up for a Google account, I highly recommend you do that. That's basically signing up for Gmail. It's one of the most valuable tools I think you can have. First, you get Gmail, which provides you almost 7 gigs of space, meaning attachments, files, documents, and photos. And it also, unlike Hotmail, where Hotmail limits you to 30 or 40 email addresses per send. So if you're sending out on an email list, it'll shut it down after, I think, three attempts of sending out of over 50 addresses, 35 or 50. They changed it recently, but same with Yahoo. They'll shut you down for 24 hours, thinking that you're a spammer. Google does not do that for you. I think you could have up to 250 emails going out at the same time. That's kind of an overview of what Gmail provides, as well as the Google tools. And I'll mention it as we go along as far as the Google functionality goes. I'm trying to get the web to work here. It's having a hard time. But as you can see in this example here, you can just type in your incident and scale it down to what you want. And you can kind of reduce the noise of what the blank page will give you. So let's just do station fire. That's kind of the most recent one in my mind. I've worked on with Jay and a couple other folks in the conference here. So you could just put your incident name in here, and then I put Los Angeles because it was last year. So there's a couple of station incidents out there, and you just go along and you could capture what's being said in blogs, meaning not conventional websites. People are posting information about your incident or criticisms or photos or whatnot. You could capture that pretty easily.
Eric, I want to jump in on your agenda. You'll see the links to the things he's talking about. When you sign up for a Google account, it gives you access to a lot of Google search kinds of things. The first one we're looking at here is called, you'll see the second web URL that's on your thing. It says blogsearch.google.com, and that's what he's on now. So just, Eric, identify which URL you're working on when you bring it up.
All right. So you can capture your information, and you can actually have it saved and then delivered to you by using. We're going to get into it later down the road, but you can subscribe to these your search parameters by blogs alerts, meaning that what will happen is it'll you set it up, and I'll go into this a little bit down the road, to have all this information delivered to you in an email. As it happens, or once a day, or so it's a pretty valuable tool. You can import this into Google Reader, which I'll also talk about in a little bit, on how to capture this and package it so you could have a one-stop shop, if you will, of information coming to you versus having to go out and look for it all the time. Very handy, and it saves a lot of time. So as you can see here, here's the top blogs reporting on the station fire. CAL FIRE News, even the Forest Service. There's some just basic news of what's going on, especially with the mudslides going on right now on the Angeles.
One thing too, Eric, some people are on their computers and online. So if you tell them the URL to type in,
Okay.
walk them through the steps so they can do it on their computer.
Okay, yeah, the URL here is blogsearch.google.com. So
Type it in if you wanna work along with Eric. Just type in blogsearch.google.com, and then type in, yeah, and it's on your agenda. The link is right on your agenda if you want to go there, and then type in the station fire in Los Angeles, and you'll see what he's seeing, because it's a little hard to read the words up on the screen.
And if I go too fast, if you have questions, just pipe in and let me know. I don't want to get mired in technobabble, and I don't appreciate it when other people do that to me. So talk about NEPA. Yeah, and you could also on the side here, it says date publish. You can go in the last hour, last 12 hours, or for the last probably 10 years. Or you could customize your dates of when you want to see blog postings, like the dates of the start of the incident to present, or I don't think it'll let you future out, but and again, you can have it all delivered to you in a package via email or through Google Reader, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So, you guys want to play, or is this?
No, not
Okay.
right yet. Go through all the listening tools, and
Okay.
then everybody will have a chance to.
And so that's blogs, and that's just specifically blogs. It's not CNN.com or Fox News or KFTY or your local news station. It's just pure blog. The next tool is Google News.
Give the address, the URL.
It's news.google.com. Again, that's news.google.com. As soon as it comes up here, wait. Give a couple seconds here. This is the one that will give you all, well, of course, news. It does carry over in some blogs, because some news agencies are using the blogosphere now for publishing news. So it will, some of that will come over, which is fine. It's still media.
Tell them what to type in, what you're typing.
Right now I'm typing the station fire Los Angeles. Just as I don't have any newer incidents that are pretty related to what we're doing. So this pretty much narrows it down to all the articles recently published in the news. You'll get some overlap because Los Angeles is in there. Again, you could on the left here, you could go top stories, or you could just do images, which is nice because you can find out what's being shown about your incident, and then of course it gives you the blogs here because that's always relevant, and then you could narrow it down to dates. So you can customize your date in the news or on the left-hand side just for your incident, or you can just expand it out. It's totally up to you. But the other cool thing about Google News is you can actually subscribe to the RSS feed, meaning that you can import this into Google Reader,
Which we'll talk about
which
later.
we'll talk about in a little while. So that you could have the news come to you in one spot. But this is a nice, Google News is what I use this almost primarily when I do my searches. Plus you could search your own name and see what they're talking about you too. A little egocentric. But so yeah, it's real basic. And then you could also have this delivered to you in email, and we'll go over that in Google Alerts here soon, meaning that any relevant news story will actually come to your email box. And then there's a way to have them all come in, blogs, everything as well. So you don't have to keep searching around. So Google News is another important tool, and that's all. You could have it all customized to your liking once you set up with your Google account. But I definitely recommend. I'm not a Google sales rep, but it's the best boat afloat. Any questions? Okay.
Let's give them a minute to. It takes them a minute to get off mute. Okay.
All right. Next is Google Alerts. Very, very important.
Ural?
And it's google.com/alerts. What this will do, it's also in the manual, but you could basically put in your search terms here, and the little drop-down menu on type, you could just do news, blogs, web, video, groups. I usually hit comprehensive, which is, it's everything. And I'll type in station fire again. And then email length, you select how many inputs you want. Normally on an instant, I'll get 15 to 20 in a day or at a time, but it's up to you. You probably want to do 50 to capture everything. And then you have a way you want to deliver to your Gmail account or your work account. You can all set that up once you sign up for Google accounts.
Hang on a sec here. Just a recommendation for those of you who are on a forest, but you're not going to be on a fire for a while. You can set this up to practice with it. Use these search terms and put in your forest name, like Coronado National Forest or Coconino National Forest, or your own name if you want to. Yeah. And start having those things. Use that to practice what's going to feed into your Google Reader account, which we'll talk about, or your email. And then when you get to a fire, you can change that, or set up a different one.
Yeah, another good search term or a type is like a project you're working on, some type of fuels project or some kind of controversial stuff, whatever.
Prescribed burns.
Prescribed burns, but yeah, it's totally up to you what you want. And you can create an alert. This is kind of what I've been subscribing to on this. I have a couple Gmail accounts, but I'm egocentric. I want to see what people are saying about me. My department, I'll get emails once a day about what's going on with Shola Fire, what the news is saying, or blogs. So it's all scalable. You could turn it off, turn it on at any time, or change the search parameters in the Manage Your Accounts feature. You could also go here to manage your account as well. It goes to the same place. But the emails are really packed. It gives you the title and a summary, and then you can click on it to get more information. And it's also great on the closeout. You can just print out your emails, and then it provides you the link and a summary of what the article said. So if you ever wanted to go back, you can, and you can put it in your final package. So you can create a folder in Gmail and have them all go there automatically if you wanted to.
Questions?
Question on search terms.
Yeah.
Tim Johnson in Ashland. On search terms, will it bring up a posting if all of the terms are in it or any of the terms?
It would do all. Actually, no, any, because I'll get some for Shola School District, and I'm Shola Fire Department. So I think if you quote it, like if I quote Shola Fire Department, end quote, it'll just give me stuff for Shola Fire Department. Same with the station fire. We ended up doing quotes for station fire because we got information on gas stations and fire stations and all that kind of stuff, or just fire. But yeah, it's a good question. It's good to put quotes in there. So if you have a long incident name, you just do quotes, your incident name, and then an end quote, and then anything relevant to that will come up.
Thank you.
It's a great question.
Other questions? Okay.
All right.
Hey, Eric, I have a question. This is Lawrence in Santa Fe. How do you create an additional email account besides your Gmail account to get alerts sent to?
If you go into settings, once you get your Gmail account set up, this will be almost on every page. If you go to settings, it'll ask you to, if you wanted to set up an additional email address. I do my Joint Information Center email as well. And you could add I don't think, I'll look at my credit card information here. And you can go to, you can have as many accounts as you want.
Oh my gosh, I said not.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you very much.
Beautiful. So, any other questions?
Hang on.
This is a very valuable tool. I get it on my PDA, and I use it there to get my information on the fly. Very handy. Next up is Ice Rocket. It's not a very well-known blogging or search tool, but it's pretty powerful. I don't use it a whole lot, but because of the Google products out here. But this is just another avenue to search for relevant information in the blogosphere, or also Twitter and MySpace, which are considered blogs, if you will. Twitter's a microblog. And it has a news feature. I'm not too thrilled about their news features. I need to do it. It's another tool you can use that's in the toolbox. One of those toolbox issues or terms. Again, I did the station fire. This is published on the 21st. It gives you a nice little a date of when this thing was published, and it's just like Google. It's probably a Google backbone is what they're using, and you could check out you could choose your own dates on the left here, or languages. And you could feed this RSS feature, which we'll get into through Google Reader. You can feed it right into there. It gives you a nice little graph, an analytic of what's happened with the station fire. Most likely Feb 7 is when that big storm came through. So they talked about the effects of mudslides, whatnot. And then you could also put in trend terms, which is Flint Ridge or a community name or other information like that, and which is customizable to your likings. And you could take this search. Another really neat thing is you could take this search and then add it to your existing blog if you have an incident blog, or not. It's up to you. It gives you a little. You add your own blog information. It'll give you some HTML, and you can post it in there. That's highly technical. I didn't mean to go there, but it's possible to do for us techie heads. And then, we don't really talk about MySpace all that much, but people do use it. The younger crowd, if you will. I can't believe I just said that, but I used to use it. I got away from it because of all the garbage that's out there. But people still use it, and they still write their blogs using MySpace. So that's another. And I realize that most agencies block it, but when you're on an incident, it's not blocked because you're usually on public Wi-Fi or public network internet. And it also has this blog tracker field, much like Google Block or blogger.google.com. and then you can get your stats for your current blog if you set up a blog on an incident, which I'll get to. So this is just a brief overview of Ice Rocket. You can get really deep, or you can just use the basics. If you have time, I would recommend playing around with it. It also has Rocket Mail, which means that you could have all your results emailed to you, just like Google Alerts. But personally, I would go with Google because it provides you the same information, and it's a little cleaner. But this is just another avenue. Again, this is icerocket.com. Does some stuff that Google doesn't, but I have an own.
Eric,
Yeah.
this is Sheila. And which one did you say was cleaner?
Google Alerts.
You were saying
I'm sorry.
Google Alert?
Blog.google.com. Google Blogger. I can't remember the name. I have it all bookmarked. Google Blogs.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So, moving on. Technorati. I just started using this, and I'm actually becoming a big fan.
You're old.
It's Technorati.com, TechNorati.com. And again, this search for all, this is a little more in-depth and technical as far as searching in the blogosphere to find out what people are saying on blogs. So that, it actually is, it's pretty entertaining, this little site here on that side note, but it will, you can search blogs or just blog posts that are relevant to your search terms, meaning blog posts, meaning just anything that's been twittered about your incident, or if you search blogs, it'll give you the whole blog page with that information on it. So it kind of narrows it down for you.
What are you typing in?
I'm typing in station fire again, or just station fire. Again is my own thing. But, sorry. Notice I just put in station fire. I didn't do Los Angeles, so it's giving me anything that anything that has to do with station or fire department is giving me, Charlotte Fire Department here. So if you want to narrow it down, just get a little more granular with it, you can just type in comma Los Angeles. So it's giving me nothing found.
Nothing found.
That's always nice.
Nobody cares anymore.
Well, anyway, let's just do posts.
Hang on just a minute. There are some new for us who were just logging in. If you just came on, put on your mute button. We can see somebody, but I don't know who that is. Who just came on?
Oh, good morning.
Who is
This
it?
is Sequoia.
Okay, great. Just stick your mute button on. If you have, put your mute button on if you have any questions. We'll give you time to ask them.
Was that Mary?
Mary, yeah.
Okay, great.
So in Technorati, I just switched from blogs to posts, and then the difference, posts will actually it searches everything that's recently published, and it goes right to almost Technorati, just absorbs it right away. So when I went to posts, it gives me all the stuff on the station fire, whereas blogs it did not. So recommended is to go to posts here in the search field, and then you're put in your search parameters, and it's given me You know, of course, it's all the rain stuff, but it captures it for you right here. And it also gives me the tags that are out there regarding the station fire. Tags basically are keywords. It didn't do it for me. Bummer. That are associated with your incident or your search parameters. So it didn't do it. Oh well, moving on. It's not a, you don't need to know about tags unless you're actively blogging. So there was one other feature in here that I wanted to share.
Eric, by post, do you mean any news articles that were written?
No, mostly
AP
just
or
blog.
UPI or anything? Okay.
Yeah, just blogs.
Well, okay. I'm just confused then. Why is there blogs and posts?
Oh,
I'm
a
a
post inside a blog.
This.
The blog is the shell,
Okay.
if you will.
Okay.
The posts are what you put in it, the individual articles.
So if there's a blog out there and somebody writes about the station fire in that blog, even if the blog is not about the station fire, this will search for any posts to any blog, anybody who put information in a blog that said the words you're looking for. Not just a blog that's named what you're looking for.
Yeah, or it
Because
has-
hopefully on the station fire, you would own the only blog that was about the station fire. Probably not.
No,
But you would
probably
own
not.
the blog. But all the people posting in their blogs about your fire is what you want to read.
So actually, yeah, during the station fire and post, there's quite a bit of new blogs posted up or up there, just called the station fire investigation, the station fire mud flow stuff, and there's Facebook pages or fan pages just on the station fire post investigation stuff. So even after an incident, this is a handy tool, or any of these are handy tools. Just monitor what's going on.
And before anybody gets totally freaked out, we're going to give you a way to do this one time on your fire and bring it into an aggregator that pulls it all together, and you'll only have one page to look at. Once you go to these pages one time on a fire, you don't have to go back. So it looks like a lot of searching to do, but you won't have to do it all the time. But we'll get there at the end of this. We're just showing you all the individual tools. Any questions right now?
All right. Next up is TWASA. Is that on the list?
No.
I must have to put the list on.
Yeah. Yeah, we took. Oh, you do have a different list. It's Technorati. I mean, it's Addictomatic,
Oh,
which
No,
is
I-
fabulous.
Addictomatic is actually very addicting. I'm serious. It's you might need counseling after this session. What this does is it pulls all the information that's related to your search. It's YouTube, blogs, Twitter, Facebook, everything, and it packages it up really nicely.
Tell them the URL again.
And it's addictomatic.com, addictomatic.com. And I typed in the station fire and then comma Los Angeles. And in this one I put quotes, the station fire, just because there's so much out there on station stuff. So what it does is it gives you Google's blog search, Bing, which is the new Microsoft search engine, their blog search feature, Twitter on this side, and you can get as deep as you want. This gives you the most recent articles that are postings from Twitter. YouTube, all the YouTube videos regarding the station fire. There's one I shot, I think. But Dig, Flickr, there should be stuff in Flickr because I know that's out there. Friendfeed, which is another Twitter jump off, which we're probably not going to get into, but it's a good little tool. All this, it just keeps going and going. Truvio, which is another video search engine, very handy. It gives you everything, all video from YouTube, Facebook, Flickr, on and on. Even the any kind of video that's been posted to a blog, it pulls up. Yahoo's web search feature, and you can click on any of these, and it'll open up to the main page of each of these products. WordPress is another blog that's out there, and that's probably one of the largest growing blog sites is WordPress. It's one of the additional tools that's down there on the bottom of the list. But and the other great thing about Addictomatic is you can take these search parameters and save them, or publish them on another website, or send them as a link to people, so they could open up this page, what we're seeing now, and get current information and just monitor what's going on. But it's also good. Thank you very much. It's also good for if you type in a person's name. It's another egocentric deal, but it's actually nice to know, like your IC, type in their name, a supervisor, a public official, your kid, whatever, and it'll pull up everything related to that. And it's good to know what they're saying about people out there. I'd pull up mine, but anyway, I don't want that kind of exposure. Just kidding. But I would recommend bookmarking this one, as well as the Google's products. It can be quite humorous.
Is already.
Oh, you pull up your name?
No, Jim Paxton.
Oh.
Jim Paxton. Which is
Bill
website.
Bill
Which is his
Paxton?
personal website.
I didn't know you had. Send me a clue address.
Try my fair.
So yeah, I just clicked on a video on that was related to the station fire, and it came right up from CBS News.
I just want to see how current it is.
So you guys probably couldn't hear that, but excellent search engine, and it's apparently they're going to integrate this with TweetDeck, which I'll get into later, so you can have all that information on your desktop.
And right after we're done with the listening tools and we show you how to import them into Google Reader, we'll take a break and give you a chance to play with some stuff. So hang tight.
Any questions on Addictomatic?
It's such an obscure one.
Alrighty then. Next up is just search.twitter.com. It's really basic. If you wanted to search Twitter posts and anything related to your incident on Twitter. It doesn't go beyond Twitter. It's just the basics. And later on when we get to the Twitter section, I'll talk about hashtags. But hashtags is a way to track. Like if you we used a hashtag on the station fire called hashtag. It was #station, hashtag station, and that allowed us to track in the analytics the station fire. But yeah, on Twitter you just type in your parameters. What's recent that happened?
I put in Dick Cheney had that heart attack, so if you put in Cheney, Cheney, isn't that how you spell his name? Yeah. It just brings up all the tweets about
5 of his other heart attacks.
yeah, his most recent heart attack. Just as something that was.
But yeah, it's just a real basic search engine within Twitter, and then we get a little deeper in that in our Twitter section, but yeah, there's some. I get the impression a lot of people don't like him. It's just me.
Let's not go there.
I'm not judging. I'm just saying.
They're pangs of absence. They're not heart attacks.
Yeah, and then down on the bottom here, it gives you trending topics, which is kind of interesting if you're a surfer. Toyota's the big deal. There's a hashtag called Wake Up Call. I'm not sure what that is. I'm afraid to click on it, but I'm going to do it anyway. All right, so that's Wake Up Call. I don't know what the big deal about that is. But yeah, it'll be trending topics. Probably pretty doubtful your incident will be in a trending topic unless you're the station fire. I think we were in there once or twice because of the evacuation info and the high-profile media at the time. But that quickly waned. But yeah, just type in your incident name or a person or anything going on with evacuations. You could type in that kind of information in here and it'll give you anything on Twitter. Pretty basic. And that's search.twitter.com, if I didn't say that earlier. Next up is Monitor. And that's MONITTER.com. And this is another Twitter search engine, but it actually allows you to do 3 different searches simultaneously, and it brings it up real time, like wildland fire. If I could spell it right.
Tell them where to click in there to go.
And then you'll see the 3 boxes with the columns. On top of each column, there's going to be a box. It's black. It doesn't translate well on the video screen here, but I'm typing in wildland fire in one box, and then you can type in whatever you want, really. But I'm doing prescribed fire in the other one. And then you can put your forest name or area if you want, Washington. And it'll start scrolling, or should. Almost in real time. It's pretty fluid. It'll just keep kind of, when a new post is coming or comes up, it'll replace the the top one. And I think you can scroll down to. I think it gives you 50 at a time. But of course, is it working for you guys?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
No.
Just a little bit slower, it'll come up.
Oh well, there's a lot of us. If a lot of you are using your internet line, it may plug along a little slow, but so we can you can try it at home, try it this evening, etc.
But it gives you the constant scroll of what's being said, and you can monitor it. Hence the word monitor.com. But pretty basic, but yet very effective. And it gives you a couple of different options. You get a widget again to put on your blog site, so you can have this stuff constantly scrolling on a blog site somewhere or another website. Apparently our wireless connection here is really slow, so it's not coming up on the screen. But
Mine's coming up.
oh, okay.
Any questions on this one? And if you're thinking that some of these are going to be duplicative, that's true. You'll if you do searches in all of them for the same general terms, but you'll get some duplication when you feed it into your aggregator, but that's okay. You'll be able to see the variety of places it's coming from, and it makes sure that some will pick up things that the other ones didn't. So
yeah, it's starting to populate now on the screen. All these folks that are being you see here are pretty much players in the wildland fire community. I see them all the time. Oh, there's one of my tweets. Sweet. So you want to be a public information officer? All right. So yeah, it just populates and it just keeps kind of scrolling as things go.
And I should say, for those of you who have Twitter or TweetDeck accounts, this is one of those classes where it's perfectly acceptable to Twitter out what you're doing in class. Most social media courses that I go to, everyone in class is tweeting out things they're learning in class. So,
all right. And that is Monitor.